Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And Big Blue Nation, I think we lost a very winnable game against Kansas at home. And Kansas snapped our 4-game win streak, and they ultimately prevented themselves from having a 4-game losing streak, which, like we have been saying, it was kind of scary for us because this was kind of setting up like an ultimate trap game. Kansas had never lost 4 games in a row while Bill Self was the coach, and we had already won 4 in a row and was trying to extend on that. So I just kind of felt like this was one of those games that was going to be tough for us to win. But honestly, when we came out the gate, we was matching good energy with Kansas. I felt like we could beat Kansas. I feel like Kansas started off slow, and we could have jumped on them, and we just kind of let Kansas just add a little couple of points here, a couple of points there. They never really got, they never really pulled away from us a great deal, but we just, every time we would start to close the gap, it just seemed like we would have like a untimely turnover, or we would miss a couple of shots in a row. But ultimately, I think the thing that got us beat was we missed too many threes and we missed free throws. And y'all know how I feel about good teams make free throws. That's how you close out games. That's how you win. When you get the easy ones, you make the easy ones. 3-point shooting comes and goes. Sometimes you hot, sometimes you not. But we still got to do better than what we did. And, I think if we would have tightened up those aspects of the game, I think we could have probably beat Kansas. I wouldn't be afraid to play Kansas again if we seen them in the NCAA tournament. I think we are as good as Kansas, or if we're not as good as Kansas, we only slightly below them. So I definitely would feel comfortable if we ever had to see them again this season. But anyways, I want to go through a highlight video, and we'll just talk about what we see and, what was happening in the game real quick. So we'll switch on over and check out a clip. Well, I guess it would have been nice if I had the clip already pulled up, huh? Here we go. See, right off starting out the gate, like, it's just those type of turnovers that ultimately, if you do one too many of those, it's just going to put you in a bad situation, because not only were you not able to get any kind of a shot, but now you got Kansas running in transition. So let's just look at that again, right? And I think sometimes they rush too quickly. Like, CJ was trying to get Oscar the ball really quick. But ultimately, when you do that and Oscar's not really able to see the rest of the court, so then the double team comes, he's not really set. And, I think they had mentioned somewhere in the game that Calipari was saying that he told Oscar, like, you posting too high, man. Like, you catching the ball too far away from the basket. Like, I guess Calipari saying if you're going to catch the ball right there, you might as well be facing the basket so you can shoot a jumper or try to make a move. So if you're going to have your back to the basket, you need to try to get a better position. And they end up forcing him into the turnover. And it leads to an easy basket in transition. But one thing that, this play right here, Livingston getting out in the break, I feel like Kentucky actually was running pretty good. And like we've been saying, when Kentucky gets out in transition, they just seem like a much better team. And they need to do more of that. But you got to take care of the other side of the court and able to be able to run. I know some plays, Kansas would score and Kentucky would get out quick. But ultimately, when you start in transition, you got to do it off of a solid defensive possession. You got to play some good D, get a rebound, and shoot up the court. But I like the intensity that they came out with. Like, they was matching Kansas's energy and running up and down the court and just hustling and things like that. They was actually playing good D. And it was kind of weird because a lot of people was even mentioning it. Like, it seemed like Livingston actually played well. He played one of his better games that he's played all season. To me, he might have not have scored as many points, but as far as just him looking like an actual baller, I think he looked like a 5-star freshman All-American in this game with some of the plays he was making. He looked confident. He looked like he normally looked in high school. So I actually liked the way he was playing, but for some reason he just didn't get any clock in the second half, which I would be interested to know why. Livingston again running the court. But man, one thing about Casey Wallace, man, Casey Wallace just be making all kinds of stuff happen on the defensive end. Like, I know that everybody is aware of how good he plays on defense, but sometimes we still got to just take a little time out to appreciate it, because it just seemed like he's always getting in the passing lanes. He's always making deflections. He's making steals. So he just kind of sparks a lot with his defense. I would actually like for him to be more aggressive on offense. And what I'm saying is, I know that by the time the game's over, he will end up with a decent amount of points. He might give you anywhere from 12 to 17 points. But I would like to see him in attack mode more. And if you think about it, I know everybody likes to say Calipari can't coach and this and that and the third. And that's all debatable, but Calipari's offenses are always the strongest when the primary ball handler, the point guard, is in attack mode. And I'm not saying that you got to shoot every time you get the ball, but I'm saying every time Casey Wallace brings the ball up court, he needs to be in attack mode, like make something happen, even if it's not for yourself, but attack and get other people good shots. And I think he's capable of doing that. And I believe if he was able to be in attack mode 100% of the time and give us 20 points a game, but maybe 6 to 8 assists because he's just aggressive the whole game, I think Kentucky could still potentially be a Final Four team. But I just don't know if he's going to play that way. He exerts a lot of energy on defense, so I just don't know if he's capable of it. But I would really like to see him just go full force and play like Fox, Shea, John Wall, all those guys, man. Like, just start making it happen. But anyways, we'll see how they keep progressing. But I just like what Kaysen does on both ends of the ball, and I just think he's the key. Like, if we're gonna get to the Final Four, I think he's got to be ultimately the driving force. But I liked how Livingston was playing, though. I was loving it. See, one thing that I think Kentucky did well in this game that they haven't done a lot in some of the earlier games is, I think they was really good about seeing the open space and flash into the open space to make themselves available for the guy with the ball. Like, if Oscar's in the post and you cut to the basket and you make yourself available, Oscar was giving a lot of people some decent looks. Because a lot of people say that Oscar Sheway is like a black hole when he gets the ball. Like, once he gets it, like, he doesn't pass it out much. He's shooting it even if he's forcing it. But he was actually like when they was running the offense through him in this game and he was getting some guys involved when they were cutting, they looked really good doing that, in my opinion. See, that's the play that I'm talking about when I say I want to see Kaysen get more aggressive, like a typical John Calipari point guard. And you can even talk about like Derrick Rose and some of the guys that, like Tyreek Evans, some of the guys that didn't even play at Kentucky but just played in his system. Whenever they attack like that, when he got one of them ones that does that type of play, it just seems to make everything better for the rest of the team. So I would just love to see Kaysen really get in that type of attack mode. Because I think he's capable of making those type of plays. He's capable of giving you 3 or 4 of them type of plays every game. So I need Kaysen to really start to get busy if we're going to turn the corner even more. Although I do like that I feel like we are improving as a team. but I just need Casey to get busy just a little bit more. That was a hell of a play right there. See, Livingston was making some ball player plays in this game. That's just him being confident. Like, he knows what he's capable of. You know what I'm saying? He uses strength. I like to. I want to see more of that from Livingston. But like I said, I have no idea why he just didn't get any clock in the second half. I don't know if. I don't really know, man. I ain't even gonna speculate. But he just didn't get any clock, and I don't think he was playing bad. Sheway just using his strength right there. That was actually good defense, and Sheway just made a better offensive play. And see, I ain't gonna lie, it's it's times like that where it's just like when we get our defensive players caught out of position, they got to be smarter about reading what's going to happen and making sure they in the right spots on defense. Because if you get guys rolling to the basket and Severe's down there to protect the paint, he might as well have just let him go on and get the layup and save the foul, honestly. That was a tough pass right there. Kaysen probably shouldn't have made that pass, but I do actually appreciate Oscar Sheway catching the ball and not rushing and actually gathering himself and making a strong play. That was really good offensive IQ type of play right there from Sheway. Oscar Sheway been getting rough with people lately too. Like, he been pushing people and giving some elbows. Like, they must have done said something pissed him off because he's playing a little different. See, when you get plays like that, let me run that back. So this is kind of these situations where I feel like, okay, like right here, I feel like this is where Toppin has to understand, like, oh shit, they get ready to do a pick and roll. It's probably going to leave the basket unguarded. And you just got to get over there a little bit faster. Like, see, like right there, you can see what's coming. Now, I know that the best player on their team is right here. So I get that you don't want to leave him. But I would still rather him shoot a jumper than give up this alley-oop play, and you can obviously see that it's coming right here. But he just wasn't paying enough attention. He just didn't react fast enough. So, boom. Look, now when he sees it coming, it's too late now. Only thing you can do now is let it go down or foul and probably end up giving up a three-point play. So, I would like to see them pay more attention and be ready to make adjustments and better rotations on defense. That was actually a good pass. Um, that was a good play from CJ, and CJ played pitiful. I think CJ's hand is just messed up to the point where I just don't think. I'm sorry, I was saying Sheway. I think, or did I say CJ? I can't remember, but I meant CJ, right? So I think CJ's hand is just so messed up right now. He just can't shoot the ball. And he's probably not going to shoot the ball well until his hand is fully healed and he's recovered from that injury. Now, I do like CJ's aggressiveness. I think he's playing harder. He's playing with extreme confidence, even though he's missing. And I don't want him to lose his confidence. But I don't think with his hand messed up, I don't think he should play 30-something minutes a game when he really can't give you nothing offensively, right? Now, he actually was playing some pretty good D on Gregory Dick earlier in the game. CJ's defensive effort has stepped up tremendously. So I really love the way CJ's playing defense. But I just wish that he was able to get a better feel with his hand, because I think it's just probably his hand is just he's probably in some pain when he catches the ball and different things like that, or he probably just has that little nagging sensation, and it's probably just causing him to just worry about his hand too much. So I actually would like for his minutes to be limited a little more while he's actually struggling from the field, without breaking his confidence all the way down. Because I think if his hand wasn't so jacked up, I think we could have won some of these games if he was playing with the same confidence, because he'd hit 2 or 3 more of them. Because he's had some atrocious shooting nights since he's messed up his hand. But that was a hell of a pass right there, because obviously everybody's expecting him to shoot the ball. And he just dropped one off, and then it was easy for Toppin to just get an easy basket. And that's the passes that you want to make, to just give your guy an opportunity to not have to do much. Toppin just turned around and dunked it. See, right there, man, that just unfortunate situation. And I think it happened a lot in this game, where it's like Kentucky might have, like, see, that was a good defensive possession, and in normal circumstances, Casey probably grabbing that ball and we gone the other direction. But a lot in this game is just a whole lot of timely situations that went Kansas' way. And see, once again, man, they just guard the pick and roll terrible this game. Like, and it's just obvious that it's coming, and they just couldn't do nothing about it. Like, they just couldn't read it, they couldn't see it, so they just couldn't stop it. And Kansas ate them a bunch on that, which I love pick and roll basketball. I think Kentucky should do a lot of pick and roll basketball. You got some athletic bigs. Where is good enough to catch you an alley oop? Obviously, Toppin is most certainly. Even Livingston, Collins, if he ever gets any clock, Anyenzo, like, you got some guys you can run that with, that could be effective. Oscar Tshiebwe is kind of hit and miss. He ain't really extremely athletic. He probably capable of doing it every once in a while in certain spots, but even if he can't get a dunk off, you could probably run some stuff and get him some nice little layups. So I love pick and roll basketball, and I wish Kentucky would utilize it a little bit more, especially instead of getting it utilized against them. See, they just getting caught sleeping on defense. A pick and roll, man. They tore their ass up with the pick and roll. It just kind of, Kansas just eating them with it. Look, easy. It's too easy. See, and look, see what I'm saying? Like, Sheway wasn't able to get the alley oop dunk, but that was an easy ass basket for Sheway, and that's just the type of plays I think if Kaysen gets aggressive, Kaysen can make him type of plays all game long. And it's like they either gonna start laying off of you and you can shoot the jumper, or you can go to the basket, or they gonna have to just let the bigs eat. And I mean, if we can get Sheway 4 or 5 of them a night, 4 or 5 easy ones, then, he'll be able to get you 20 points pretty much every game, guaranteed, because then he'll only have to actually score a few baskets on his own. So we definitely need more of that in our offense. Simple, easy play. And see, their help defender got there kind of late on that play too. He didn't get there as late as some of our guys have been getting there in this game, but he did get there late. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even when you look at the other teams, like, that's the breakdown that you just don't want to happen. Like, you don't want guys just falling asleep and not being able to read what's happening. And sometimes you just got to leave your man. I understand that your responsibility is to guard whoever was in the corner, but if you see that one happening, you just got to leave him and hope that if they kick it to him, he missed the jumper. It's just a part of the game. You gotta have risk and reward on defense. I'm sorry. See, that's a bad pass, man. That, like, Kaysen just telegraphed that shit, man. Like, It's like he was like, turn around, Oscar. I'm gonna throw you the ball. I don't care what else is happening on the court. Like when you see, you gotta get, who is that in the corner? Is that Reeves? You gotta get Reeves' man away from Sheway right there. So if you gotta hold it for a second, then you gotta hold it. Or if you letting Frederick come out to the top of the key, you might have to kick it to Frederick just so Reeves' man will have to commit, and then he can kick it right back to you, and then you can get it to Sheway, and you might have a better pass or a better opportunity to get the ball to him, and he have better spacing. But that pass right there, you just telegraphed it, and you just showed Kansas exactly what you was doing, and they just waited on it and turned it over. See what I'm saying? And then it led to the fast break. Easy bucket. A low IQ play on our end ended up for an easy bucket for Kansas. And see, once again, man, Casey Wallace just got to be aggressive, man. Like, Casey Wallace got to be the leader of the team. He got to be the point guard. He got to be vocal. He got to be willing to tell some of these players, shut the hell up and listen to what I'm saying. You get here, you do this, you do that. Like, that's just a part of the game when you're the point guard. You got to put everybody in the best position to be successful. It's a lot of responsibility on you. But I think he can handle it. I think he just got to be tuned in mentally, and it will help our team tremendously. They just caught us sleeping so many times on defense. It's just hard, man. Like, it's hard to see those type of plays right underneath the basket. Just got players just sitting there looking like it's like they don't know what's going on. I knew eventually Wilson would get loose. Like I said, Toppin was playing some real good D on him in the beginning of the game. The first 10 minutes, Toppin was playing probably some of the best D that he's seen all season. But when you a guy that can get 20 a game, at some point you're probably going to get close to that if you're good enough. You just got to try to hope that you can make him take more shots than normal. That was a good move by Toppin right there. I can't lie. That was a nice move. Toppin knew he didn't have it on the left side and went on underneath and finished on the right side. Yeah, Wilson's good, man. Wilson gonna score. It ain't really nothing you can do. In some cases, that was a bad. See, it's just like sometimes we just made right whenever it was time for us to try to turn the corner in the game or chip away some more buckets, we would just do some low IQ stuff, right? So right there, it's like Reeves, you wasn't even set. It's like you was moving when you caught the ball and you just tried to shoot it like to keep you from falling out of bounds. But it's like, man, you just got to, if you ain't set and ready to catch and raise, then you got to catch the ball and you got to dribble it or throw it back out and just reset. Like, if you didn't have it, you didn't have it. And sometimes you got to just know that you ain't got it and you got to try to get something else. You just got to be smarter than that. That's all that is. You just got to use better IQ. Anyways, so I definitely, like I said, I think we lost a very winnable game. I think that there's a lot of lessons to be learned from watching the game footage of this. But there's positive things too. Like, I definitely seen a lot of positive. Case and Wallace had some positive moments. Livingston had some positive moments. CJ and Toppin was playing great defense in the beginning of the game. There's a lot that we could take away from it. But we just got to tighten up. Mostly, I feel like obviously we got to hit free throws. We have to shoot better from three. We don't have to be a amazing 3-point shooting team, but we got to get ourselves to the point where we're respectable. Because if we're going to be taking over 10 threes a game or 15 threes, we got to be respectable at least, just in order for us to make sure that we're going to, not give up too many not give up too many just basically throwaway possessions. And the main thing, we got to cut out a lot of the low IQ plays. Like, we have to learn to limit the turnovers. We got to learn to be better rotating on defense. So we definitely got some things that we can work on. But overall, I think we are a way better team than we were in the beginning of the season. I think we've learned a lot. I think we have a better feel for the game right now. We was on a 4-game win streak. We got it snapped at home by technically the number 9 ranked team in the country. So I still am enthused a little bit. Like I said, this was a winnable game. This could have been another statement game for us. We needed that. But I'm not as down on them right now as I was in the beginning of the season, because I think they are learning. I think they are getting better. So hopefully, like I said, this month of January was a tough month. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew we was going to have a lot of, rough games to play. I didn't anticipate some of them, like Missouri and South Carolina. But, we still could potentially even lose 10 games. But if we can just make it into the tournament and be growing and still progressing like we have been, I still would be confident that we could potentially do a little bit of magic. But I think if we want to make it to the Final Four, I think it's all going to depend on Cason Wallace and how far he can actually take us. So anyways, that's all I got for this one, man. And, as always, y'all let me know what y'all thought about the game in the comments. Let me know how you feel about our team right now and what our chances are going forward. Just give me your thoughts, man. And we'll get back at it next time. Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.